Ninja Gaiden 4 is touted as one of the most anticipated games of 2025. This is especially true if you had Game Pass Ultimate, as it was a day one release. And most of the early reviews have been positive and point to it being polished and fun to play. But it must be mentioned that there are a number of gamers that were more than disappointed with Ninja Gaiden 4. And the number of one-star reviews has grown steadily over the past few weeks since launch. As usual, I'm going to look at the top complaints coming from one-star reviews, and will judge for myself as to whether those complaints hold water or if the gamer is just mad at the world. So let's get into it, starting by looking at some of the more common and often more humorous one-star reviews.
Ryu gets replaced and is literally in only 20% of the game. 80% is this new emo kid. Terrible graphics, empty playstyle with little effort compared to Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3. Trash, the button layout is unintuitive. The combos are clunky, the actions is fast, but without adequate mechanics, it's just a mess of motion. There's no way normal difficulty is designed for average gamers. Short game, not worth purchasing and not worth replaying.
Alright, so let's unpack each of these complaints to see if they're valid or not. First of all, we have Ryu being sidelined. Second, dated graphics. Third, we have clunky controls. Fourth, unfair difficulty. And fifth, no replayability. Starting off, we have complaints that the beloved franchise character, Ryu, is barely in the game. The replacement is what some call an emo kid, or even a simp if you consider his first interaction with a pretty girl. I can understand why longtime fans of Ninja Gaiden would be upset that their favorite character is barely in the game. I had a very similar reaction to Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. In all the trailer footage of the Metal Gear game, they showed lots of footage with Solid Snake. However, once you got past the first level on the tanker, the player switches to Raiden, the rookie soldier that, well, wasn't nearly as cool as Solid Snake. So yeah, if players expected to play as Ryu, I can understand why they'd be upset. After all, he's been the main character for all the mainline Ninja Gaiden games up to this point. That said, I think if they get past that point, they might find a pretty good game under the hood. For example, I pushed through and completed Metal Gear Solid 2 despite my disappointment in the lead character, and I had a great time doing so. So I'm going to mark this one as questionable. Next up is graphics, and I have to say, I rather like the art style this game takes. Keep in mind this is a Japanese-inspired game, so it's going to look and feel a bit different with American eyes. As for the emptiness of the environment, I actually think this was done on purpose to present a sense of emptiness and foreboding. All in all, the graphics look good to me, marking this one as nonsense. Next up is controls, and specifically how the buttons are laid out for combat. While the button layout is certainly unique, especially when it comes to using the right analog button for dodging and blocking, I actually find the controls refreshing and a bit of a throwback to older fighting games. Personally, I was able to pick up on the controls pretty easily, and the more I play, the more each button press has a meaning and purpose to what I'm doing. I'd say this is far from a mind-numbing button masher. I'm debunking this complaint. Next up is the complaint about difficulty on the normal default setting. And while I haven't yet played through the entire game, I've only actually died a handful of times through a few hours of gameplay. And when you do die, you respawn fairly close in progression to where you died. So it isn't like Hollow Knight Silksong, where the difficulty is relentless. I'd say if anything, it's actually a bit too easy. For me, this complaint is nonsense. Finally, there is a widespread complaint that even if you like the game, it's too short and there's really no incentive to replay the game once you beat it. Now, according to howlongtobeat.com, it takes an average of 10.5 hours to complete the main objectives of this game, with others saying it's more like 15 hours. So if you were to pay $70 for this game and play for, let's say, 12 hours, that's just under $6 per hour. And honestly, that seems pretty fair. But I will agree that once I beat this game, I probably won't consider replaying it. This is just one of those titles that's simply a one and done playthrough. So for this complaint, I'm a bit on the fence. So that's it, guys. 5 one-star review complaints, with 1 being valid, 1 being partially valid, and the others are just noise. In my opinion, I think the ratings of low to mid 80s out of a possible 100 score are right where they should be. Ninja Gaiden 4 is a fun time with a halfway decent story, a unique art style, and it's just something that's a bit different than most other games on the market right now. I don't know if I'd pay $70 for it, but if it would come on sale soon, or especially if you have Game Pass Ultimate, I highly recommend giving it a go.
Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.
My life like in your prophecy, I'm guessing.